Back in May, I get a phone call from Eric Pollock at Cabela's Tags, and he tells me, man, I don't know what you're doing right. You drew a Colorado Bighorn sheep tag.
So 2 years ago, Langy draws this moose tag in Montana.
Hey, good job, man.
Killed one the size of a bus. And this year, he draws a Bighorn sheep tag. There's guys that have put in for 20 years and never drawn a tag for that.
Getting a chance to go up in the high country, back away from everything, and chase a bighorn ram is something that I think every hunter who has an ambition to chase western big game wants to do at some point in their life. The unit I was going to be hunting was right in the middle of the South San Juan wilderness. In fact, the wilderness makes up a good portion of this unit. So we really wanted to be able to show what the wilderness was all about, and not only that, but what goes into protecting that wilderness. We're finally here, South Central Colorado. This is going to be unlike anything that the buckmen have done before. We're novices, first timers at this deal. We're just kind of checking it out from this gorgeous vantage point right here, kind of getting a lay of the land on what we're about to head into in the next few days. Well, we're here at the trailhead, ready to head up today, about to find out if we got what it takes, if we're man enough to get up in this high country and get after a bighorn sheep. Just getting the horses settled up and all the gear together, last minute checks. I told Jordy this morning I just want to clean right up. Once we get up to camp, whatever happens, happens, but we're just hoping for a clean ride up the mountain today. The South San Juans are steep, rugged, pristine. There's adjectives that could go on and on to describe this place.
You don't have to go to the roughest place to find rams. You can find them in easier areas. They're not there as regularly.
We have some easy walking country in the South San Juans for elk hunting, for deer hunting, but the sheep tend to always want to be where you don't want to be. And every time I see a sheep, your heart gets to beating because they're in places where man's not usually going to go.
It's not an easy trip. Even with the horses doing a lot of the grunt work, it took us a solid 4.5 hours to get from the trailhead up to where we were setting up camp at.
Just a little behind the scenes action for you. This is cool. So I just found them going through a little lake here. 40 minutes from our destination. We've been on horseback for 4 hours.
We're back in here. There's no just, going and jumping in the car and heading back to town or walking to a lodge and sleeping in a comfy bed. Like we're about 5 miles back up in here and, we're here now.
We just got to camp, got our breath a little bit. 12,000 feet, feels like 20.
You're on top of the world up there, and there's a lot of things to see. My dad used to always ask me, well, what'd you see after you came in from hunting? And I'd say nothing. And he'd say, well, now think about it. You didn't go out there and see nothing. You saw something. But I had the habit of saying I didn't see anything when I didn't see what I was after. But there was always something I saw that was interesting. I just had to think about it, and I started looking at things in a different way.
You're really, as cliched as it is, you're really just at one with nature. I mean, you're out there and appreciating God's creation and from the terrain to the animals and just soaking it all in and, just really, in essence, roughing it.
Sun's going down on day one. Started out slow, but right here before dark, Mike spotted about a 3/4 girl ram. Looked like a pretty nice ram, but we didn't get a great look at him. That definitely bodes well for the next few days. We know there's some in here near where we are and set up a plan of attack for the morning. Now we gotta hike back.
Our days started at about 5:30, and Mike would fix us breakfast, and then once we got a good breakfast in us and got geared up, it was time to head a little bit up the mountain. There wasn't too much further to go to be at the top of the world.
Came up on this same ridge that we were on yesterday evening, a little bit down from where we saw the ram, kind of the direction that he turned and headed back. When he wrapped around and went back up the canyon, got the sun coming up in our back. Now we're just playing a waiting game.
It was a lot of creeping, just trying to, very stealthily sneak over hilltops, glass into these canyons, and try to find where these rams were. And Well, it wasn't long that we'd been hunting with Mike that I quickly started calling him the mountain goat.
We're moving again. We're gonna dive off this cliff. Hopefully land on this bench below, about 200 feet.
You know, I feel like I've got pretty good balance, and I was still holding on for dear life in some of these situations. And I'd look up, and not only is Mike not using his hands, he's kind of picking and creeping his way, and he's hunting. I'm completely oblivious at this point to if there's a sheep around us or not. I'm just trying to hold on to this mountain.
We're trying to catch up with the guides.
And we get up there, and all of a sudden, Mike and I spot a group of rams, and they're coming right at us.
There are 3 rams. The top one looks like he's heavier. We got 3 pretty good rams down in here.
We get set up and start really glassing these rams over hard. You know, Mike has got a lot of experience with looking at rams, and I tried to rely on his experience in this instance.
None of these are broke. So you think the best move would be try to back out? I think so.
I knew that there were a couple rams there that I liked that looked good, but at the same time I deferred to Mike and I was like, what do you think? And we started talking about it. We're really, really close to shooting one of these rams.
Almost pulled the trigger. We're gonna try to back out without busting these 3. Hopefully we don't end up regretting this decision.
So on the second day with my Savage, I get out there and it's time to see what it can do.
Luckily, about 8 o'clock, I spotted a couple rams. I'd say probably a mile away. We all got out there and got to looking at them and decided that we would probably pursue them. Well, we got around there and got into the mountains, and the rocks was really bad. And
You're wanting to get down there quick and not let these rams get out of this spot where we feel like we could get them killed, but you know, you got to take your safety into regard first and foremost.
One little miss stumble, those rocks don't give when you hit them.
it's really, really dangerous for the sheep. You're talking about sliding and falling down constantly, busting your gun, busting your elbow, and busting your butt.
You've got 3 guys trying to slide down as quickly and quietly as possible, but also avoid any one of them, you know, having a bad fall. And they started kind of looking in different directions and gave us the opportunity to slide a little bit further out on this bench, allow myself to get set up in a good prone position.
He's the one on the left, right?
It hadn't been just a few minutes, the rams decided they were tired and they went back and laid down.
He's bedded down at about 370 or so, waiting for him to get up.
And now it was just a waiting game.
I'm thinking we need to get a shot or we're going to be in the dark on this deal.
He finally stands up. It's quartering away, not the perfect shot we could draw up, but a shot that I felt confident in taking.
All right, fire in the hole.
I don't know if you hit him or not. Yep, he went down. See?
The shot felt good. The ram takes off running, slips, starts his roll about 30, 40 yards later, and I finally got my first ram, something I've been dreaming about my entire hunting career. Larry spotted this ram at 8 o'clock this morning. It's 5:15 now. Down there? Well, they always say in hunting that, you know, once you pull the trigger, that's when the real work begins.
We saw him roll, but we were having trouble finding him. Oh, look at this bad boy. He's heavy. It's heck trying to get him in a place to see him good and get pictures up on this slope.
It was a great ending to just such a physically demanding hunt where we had just really put ourselves through it and tiptoed around, trying not to fall, just getting acclimated to that altitude.
Well, it was a long hike down here. It's gonna be an even longer hike out, but for a little while we're really soaking this up. I gotta thank Larry. Many thanks to Mike. Their help, Lobo Outfitters here in Colorado. Tell you what, they're in a lot better shape than I am.
It was just a great time to reflect on the last 4 or 5 days. It had been just a tremendous experience up there in the South San Juan wilderness, and reflect back on, you know, new memories, new friends that we had made, and I don't know when I'll get another opportunity like that, and I'm just very fortunate that we were able to be successful.